Thanks for joining me on Profit with a Plan podcast. This is where you can get some great ideas to create your most profitable self and small business. Just so you know, financial planning isn't only for those that have a lot of money or run big companies. A workable financial plan is for us everyday business owners and professionals that want to keep more of our hard-earned money and make great financial decisions. So join me, Marcia Reiner, your certified financial planner and financial business strategist, each Tuesday for some smart ideas that can add more profits to your bottom line. Just so you know, I am passionate about working with ambitious business owners who are working their ass off every day. They're making good money, but don't seem to have a lot to show for it. I help them fix their cash flow, which increases their profits. This helps them build wealth without sabotaging their business. They know they can grow a sustainable business that they can sell for a lot more money later on. If this sounds familiar to you or anyone that you may know may be curious, share my podcast with them or let's chat. You can always book a brief call with me to see where I can help you to create greater profits in your business. Get on my scheduler, calendly.com/Marcia-16. I guess there's 16 of us. So let's get on with today's podcast. Today's podcast is about leaks in your money. And this could be business or personal. So I guess the big question is, does your money have leaks? Well, most often it does. If you're a big company, a small company, a solopreneur, I can almost bet you have money leaking out of the cracks and seams of your business. And it is really costing you money. How much? Well, that depends how much you're leaking out, but it could cost you hundreds of dollars a month, and I'm talking hundreds starting. And it could end up being thousands of dollars each month because you're not paying attention to the details of your money. And you're stuck in situations that just keep bleeding out. So when is it a good time to stop that bleeding? Hopefully before it's not too late. I would say as soon as possible. And stopping the bleeding and corking and plugging those leaks are really the essential pieces to making you more profitable. And it's the low-hanging fruit that you can just fix quickly. It's mindless how many business owners, and I found this out by working with my business owners, but it's mindless how many times that I found it in myself that I spend money unnecessarily, and I have things that I didn't realize I was still buying that are killing my profits. So what are the most common leaks that business owners have? Well, one of the common leaks are memberships, subscriptions, and dues that are not so beneficial to the company or its profits. All right, raise your hand. How many of you have an organization you belong to or a group that you joined that you paid a fee for and you never really got a benefit out of it? Or you're a member of an organization that you don't attend anymore. You know, gosh, it may even be that damn gym membership that you're paying for. You know, the membership to a subscription like Amazon. Okay, we all shop at Amazon, but that's a subscription that maybe you don't need to spend $20 a month on. You know, are you getting $20 worth of benefits each month by using Amazon? Maybe, maybe not. But that's a place that leaks. The other places are common subscriptions like you belong to an organization that you're not getting a real benefit for. Or you're not even attending, or you bought magazines that you don't have time to read, or you pay for a newspaper to be delivered to your office and you never pick it up. Now, granted, you can get some of these for pretty inexpensive prices, but it's ridiculous how they add up. Another subscription, even in your personal life, is the damn cable bill that we're paying. I looked at my cable bill this month. I am paying almost $200 so I can watch Game of Thrones and hockey, and so my kid can play video internet games. I mean, that's ridiculous. But if I didn't have it, I'd have a 17-year-old screaming his head off, and I would miss who's going to rule the Game of Thrones, right? I mean, come on. And it's Stanley Cup playoffs. I have to watch it. So I can justify all my subscriptions and memberships right down the line. But realistically, I've got to look at numbers and see if they really make sense. A strange subscription that we pay for is postage meters. How many pieces do we mail out anymore? You know, I mean, think about it. These are things that just add up, tally up, and you don't realize how much that money just really adds up. Another common leak businesses have are commitments that aren't functioning anymore or supporting you anymore. I talked to one of my clients just this last week, and she stressed about paying a business coach $1,000 a month. And she's not even feeling like this business coach is giving her value anymore. But because she agreed originally to pay a 12-month agreement to this business coach, and she says it's an ironclad contract, that she feels like she's just stuck in the contract. And I said, oh, no. Now, I am not an attorney by any means, but the attorneys I do know say that every contract is made to be broken. So have a real conversation with the people that you have commitments with and see if they're really working for you in the way that they should be. And see if maybe you could reduce that to a shorter period of time, or maybe even get out of that commitment. Now, if they are helping you, then they're probably worth every penny you're spending. But commitments that we make in subscriptions that we make just seem to go on without us even knowing, because they're automatically charged monthly to our credit cards. And we just end up having those charges on there and we don't even think about it. There's another one. How about your credit cards? Have you looked at the interest that you're carrying each month on that credit card when maybe you had initially planned to pay it off right away? Maybe it's a good alternative to look at what you have in your savings to pay down that credit card, or stop putting regular monthly charges on your credit cards that you aren't paying off, because that interest is killing you, and the fees so you can get miles that you forget to use. Or you're paying a higher interest rate because they are giving you miles versus going for a low interest rate or a variable interest rate, especially in today's time, that could lower your expense. So looking at those unnecessary fees, commitments, and memberships are great ways that you can stop the leaks in your business. Now, here's a kind of a duh moment. How about over shopping on unnecessary items? How many of those yellow Post-it sticky notes do you have in your storage unit? How many magazines do you have in your waiting room that you really don't need? How many things do we buy unnecessarily? I mean, we all shop at Costco, right? I've got to have 400 rolls of toilet paper when I go, right? Because it's the pricing. It's thinking about what we're spending on that leak out without us even batting an eyelash. We just do it based on habit. And maybe those items aren't really necessary to your success financially at this time. So cut some of those leaks and stop them up. Another place that is a common leak that business owners have are overpaid taxes. Now, we just went through tax season, and I got to say, I was pretty proud of myself. I paid some really low taxes this year, and I did it by making smart decisions throughout the year that I could get legal and honest deductions on. But that's not always the trick. I had another client I was talking to that we were talking about her timeshare that she buys. And she owns the timeshare and she wants the timeshare. So it's very emotional attachment for her and she thinks that it's adding value. But her statement to me didn't sound, it didn't have that ring to it. She said, well, I'm paying on this timeshare, but this timeshare is giving me a tax deduction. And I said, you're paying how much on the timeshare and how much of a deduction is that actually benefiting you? And I didn't want to have the long drawn out conversation with her on this one at this time because she was emotionally attached to it. But when you run the numbers and you're spending money on an item and you think you're getting a tax deduction on it, but you're spending $5,000 on the item, but your tax deduction is, $1,000, let's be generous, or maybe even it's only $700 or $500 that you're getting the deduction on. The numbers have to match out dollar for dollar. Another way you overpay taxes is, and I'll just put this out there, on your income. Many of us make good money, and especially if you're in the professional services world, where you're trying to get your income off of the company taxes so you pay it out to yourself. Well, do you realize you're paying taxes on money that maybe you don't need to take out of the business at this time? But if you turn that money that you didn't need for your daily expenses and your life expenses, and you turn that around and you bought an asset that actually paid you income, you're still using the money, but you're not necessarily paying taxes on it. So looking at those overpaid tax bills are a great way that people spend money or leak money out of their business because they don't do that. I've got a couple more ideas for you here. Just realities, I guess, what it would be. How about underproductive marketing? We're spinning our wheels and spending our money on marketing that is not producing what we're spending on, if at all, but yet we continue to spend on it. So I would suggest looking at the marketing and make sure that we're not wasting money in that arena, but you're spending your money effectively on that marketing and it is returning the amount minimum, at least what you're spending, if not more. A lot of us will say, oh, well, it's brand awareness. Well, we're not Coca-Cola. We don't need a brand. We need customers. And marketing should produce customers paying customers. Just a thought. The final place that I'll talk about that are very common leaks that business owners have is dead money and wasted assets. Let me let you think on that one a little bit. A wasted asset is a valuable item that is not producing you an income. But yet we make payments on it or we've spent money on it and it's not doing it. The flip side of that is that you hoard your money and you stick it in an incredibly low-paying return like a CD or a savings account or something that is not producing any money. So that's dead money that could be making you money, but yet it's leaking because it's not producing you an income. Interesting comments here on the common leaks that we have. The memberships, the commitments, the overspending on those unnecessary items. The overpayment on tax is just mind-boggling, but we all do it. We don't take the deductions we should, or we don't utilize those. We pay taxes when we really shouldn't. The rich don't pay taxes. The upper level, the smart business owners take every tax opportunity they can. The underproductive marketing and the dead money and wasted assets. Interesting, huh? So how could these leaks affect your money? Well, Captain Obvious here. Loss of profits. Profits are what make your business successful. You've got the income we're coming in, because there's only 3 functions to a profit. Your income coming in, versus against your expenses going out equal your profits. However you order those, they're always going to equal 100%. And if you've got too much money leaking out or not enough income coming in, then that's affecting your money. And if you blindly just have expenses or fees and things that are eating up your profits, that's taking money away from you unnecessarily. So having leaky money, here's another thing how it can affect your money. How's your credit? Business credit is essential to using other people's assets, which is a great tool for increasing your profits. If you've got not enough profit showing and leaky money and unnecessary expenses eating up your profits, that's going to affect your credit. Your credit score and your ability to borrow money and leverage your assets and everything else is very important. If you have bad credit, or maybe let's say not stellar credit, then you could be paying on those credit cards and fees 24, 25%. That's unnecessary fees. So I would encourage you to make sure that you are getting your credit house in line and keeping it in line so that way the fees that you're spending are at the lowest possible. When you have to use credit or when you want to use credit because there's an opportunity and you want to leverage and use other people's money, you have to have incredibly good credit. Good credit is above 750 FICO scores. How do you get good credit? Well, that's a whole nother story we can talk about in the future, but good credit is really important. So I would say get your credit house in line. So how could leaky money also affect your money? You could be missing out on opportunities because you have wasted money going out and you don't have the budget to take up those opportunities. If it's an opportunity to go learn and you don't necessarily have enough money on your credit to go fly across the country to go to hear the speaker, or you're fearful because you're looking at your profits and they're not as high, so you're fearful to spend more money on your business. These are things that are missed opportunities. And without the extra money in your accounts, you're not going to have the confidence to take those opportunities. And when you're looking at how leaky money affects your account, you're always going to be pushing harder to make more income because you need more money to have more profits, right? So if you're pouring out and you're bleeding out, you're leaking your money out, then you're going to have to strive harder on your profits or on your income to be able to show more profits. So again, that trifecta, those three stool legs, if one is having problems, the other two will have problems. So we've got to fix these leaks. And then finally, how it's going to affect your money is you're always going to be held back by a ball and chain. And you cannot grow your business the way you want to grow your business when you have leaky money. Because there's no ability for you to invest back into your business and hire people and innovate with new products and solutions and spend more money on marketing and hiring the salespeople to go out and do this because you're constantly trying to stop the leaks in your money and it's not profitable enough for you. I hope this is all making sense to you. Leaky money is a downward spiraling funnel that affect, even most importantly, the solo entrepreneurs and the small business owners because their profit margin tends to be less than say the big companies. But I gotta say, it affects us all. It even affects us personally, as I said in the beginning. So how do you fix these leaks? There's a really simple 4-step process. And I take my clients through a jump start when we're doing our work together. And this Jumpstart program is really looking to fix those leaks and to get your strategic spending off and running. So step number 1 is you've got to analyze the situation. You've got to understand what your money's doing for you, where the pennies are falling through the cracks. And then you've got to ask yourself, can you stop it? Can you make the changes that need to be changed, and can you do it fast? Maybe the commitments that you have you can't get out of or you don't want to get out of, so then we just need to make some adjustments. But you have to ask yourself, what is it? Where am I? And what can I fix? And then the second step is to be prepared. It may take more energy, time, and money to fix the leaks. Just like when you have a plumbing leak, right? And there's water spewing out under your sink, you got to pay the plumber to fix it. So you might have to invest some money to make your leaks go away. It may just be time, or it could be the energy that you need to shift in your thinking to make this work out better. And then step number 3 is set up the right plan. And by all means, get some friggin' help. You can't see through the forest many times to see the trees. So by having a second set of eyes to help you see through that forest and find the fallen down logs and pick them up and move them is what it needs to make this go through. And with that, developing a strategy and a plan to make it successful. You can't just pour water on a fire. You've got to rebuild. You've got to figure out where you're going and what part of the fire is really burning. Because if you don't fix the initial place that it started, then it's just going to keep sprouting up in other places. So set the plan. Get the help to help you see it and put the plan into place. And then the final piece of that is to take action and take it as soon as possible. Yesterday, if at all possible, take that plan and take action on it, or make that plan and take action on it. So let's recap what I've talked about today. We're talking about leaks in your money, and that almost everybody has the leaks in the money. In their money, big, small, and solo companies, and it's costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars regularly. That could be monthly, it could be yearly, but it's costing you money, I promise you. And you've got to stop the bleeding as soon as possible. And these common leaks are in memberships and subscriptions, in fees, unnecessary fees that we're paying, commitments that aren't helping or growing or moving our business forward. We're shopping on unnecessary items that we really need to say, whoa, do I need this? Do I need it right now? We're overpaying on taxes. We're having underproductive marketing and no more dead money or wasted assets. And then the effects on the money we just went through, that it's obvious that it's loss on profits. It can affect your credit. You're missing out on opportunities. And you need to work harder to make more money, and it's going to hold you back on your growth. So remember, analyze the situation and stop it as soon as you can. Be prepared that it may take time, energy, or money to fix. Set up the right plan, and for all means, get some help doing it, and take action now. So thanks for listening to the podcast Profit with a Plan, and I hope you found an idea or two to put into your business that will make you help you make more money, get you in control, and get profitable. If you'd like to know how to make your profits, your business more profitable, and get some strategies for yourself, I'd love to help you and sit down and have a conversation. I ask you to say, hey, let's do a free call Get on my calendar at calendly.com/Marcia-16 and set up a brief appointment so we can get together and figure out where you are and how I might be able to help you. I'd love to hear back your questions, feedback, and ideas for future shows. You can hit me up on any of my social channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram at Bella Financial or Marcia Reiner, or you can hit me up on my website, bellafinancialgroup.com. And I would love to have you subscribe to this podcast. You won't want to miss future podcasts. And by all means, don't keep me the best kept secret. Share this with your friends, please. And follow me. And if you do follow and subscribe to me, I'll give you my Get Financially Organized workbook for free. So just follow me and you'll get it. So you can catch Profit with a Plan podcaster on all your favorite players, Podbean, iTunes, iHeart, Google Play, Stitches, and all the other ones out there. You just got to look for Profit with a Plan. Looking forward to some great profitable information on next week's show. And until then, make your plans and profit with it.